Let's chat Denver Broncos right now here on Broncos Breakdown by Chat Sports. I am your host, Tom Downey. Let's talk Baron Browning. Not what you thought we were going to talk with. No Aaron Rodgers stuff today. There you go. You guys are all welcome. Bleacher Report has predicted the top rookie gem from each NFL team. And their choice amid several good kind of non-top 100 picks was Baron Browning, a late third-round pick out of Ohio State, who I am very intrigued by. The production doesn't necessarily jump off the page. The athleticism does, however. The five-star pedigree does as well. Now, in 2020, Browning was part of a rather loaded Ohio State linebacker core in the end, which they probably played tough for a little bit too much. Browning kind of played some strong side linebacker, but he's going to be an inside linebacker in the end for this team. And I think there's enough athletic ability, blitzing flashes, and coverage flashes that I'm very intrigued by Baron Browning. He was fairly high up on my board. I'm a little bit surprised he fell as far as he did. Now, getting him on the field year one, well, we'll have to wait and see on that one. You know, you got Von Miller at the edge, Lone Bradley Chubb. We're talking inside guys. A.J. Johnson, Josie Jewell. I think Baron Browning, though, pretty clearly would end up being, linebacker 3 on the interior. That's kind of my guess for the role he ends up playing for this organization, at least early on in his career. He ends up sticking on the inside, hanging out there, and finding a way to have success in the middle of the defense. And I do think that role for him is going to be a good one. I'm not saying he's going to be, the greatest inside linebacker ever, but I do think there is some intrigue and some promise there. For what we know, which so far is not that much, I thought it was a really good pick. Grading in the immediate aftermath, I gave it an A. I thought it was good value and filled a need as well. So get your votes in here for me right now in the comments section, folks. A, B, C, D, or F. Grade the pick of Baron Browning. A, B, C, D, or F. Now, there were a couple more what I was very intrigued by, some good day 2 picks, day 3, that came out of the Denver Broncos draft class. 2 safeties, Caden Stearns and Jamar Johnson, Seth Williams, the wide receiver, Kerry Vincent, and also Jonathan Cooper. I thought all 5 of those picks, frankly, folks, were really good. I don't know if that's the route that Denver will end up, they're going to have great success in the long run, necessarily, but I do think the Denver Broncos on day 3, I thought they had a lot of success. And I think that there were several players that Bleacher Report could have gone with and said, yes, this will be a gem, this will be a good pick. Of these day 3 picks, I had Jamar Johnson higher, did not test very well. Seth Williams, I think, offers some outside vertical ability. Kerry Vincent can fly. Don't know what his long-term NFL position will be. I'm just listening to his DB for now. And I'm going to shout out Jonathan Cooper, who I know not everybody is as high on. I liked him, though, at Ohio State. I think he could be the often not seen 7th-round steal by the Denver Broncos. Moving on now to Bryce Callahan here for the Denver Broncos, also from Bleacher Report. They suggested cutting him, which I don't know about that one, folks. Look, the Broncos do have tons of cornerback depth. Now, a release would save them almost $2 million in cap space. That could be needed if, say, they went out and found a different quarterback or wanted to spend big on a different position. And even though Denver, yes, they've got great depth, I don't want to dump Callahan right now despite his injury history as part of Denver. A, we know he fits the Vic Fangio defense, both inside and outside. But B, he's a good football player. I know that there's savings to be had, but in 10 games last year, I thought Bryce Callahan was the team's best defensive back, best cornerback. Best DB was still Justin Simmons. I like Callahan a lot. 42 tackles, the 5 pass breakups, 2 interceptions. But in coverage, he was the one who wasn't getting beat. Look at those yards. 10 games. You're allowing about 20 yards per game. You're doing something right. You really are. And I know that the Denver Broncos went out and said, okay, this offseason, we're overhauling our secondary room. We signed Kyle Fuller to a 1-year deal. We drafted Patrick Surtain in round 1. We signed Ronald Darby to a multi-year deal. We kept Bryce Callahan and Michael Ojemudia. And we still got guys like Duke Dawson and Aseng Basie. And we drafted Kerry Vincent in round 7. Nate Harrison has bounced around the NFL. Parnell Motley, Kevin Tolliver have spent time in camps and practice squads and occasionally on a 53-man roster. But I don't think when I look at what this team has at corner, for a team that wants to use multiple corners, that they need to move on from Callahan. Whether he's outside cornerback 2 or they, bench Darby. Like, I get it. It's tough to put all 4 on the field at the same time. But you know what? In a league that loves to use multiple receiver sets, I would rather have too many corners than not enough. And I get that there is a numbers game going on, but it's not like you're signing Bryce Callahan. He's already there on your roster, and you know he's a good football player. This is not somebody that I'd be like, you know what? We just got to save that $7 million. We have to. I would keep him. I'm going to keep him on this roster. He's going to be my nickel, can play some outside as well. I would not move on from Bryce Callahan. But of course, I want to hear from you guys, everyone watching right now. What to do with Bryce Callahan? Type in K for keep, type in C for cut, or you can type in T for trade. Get your votes in right now in the comments section. Obviously, I'm going with K for keep there. I just think he's a good football player. I think in the modern day NFL, not too many teams have truly done what Denver's doing. They got a lot of corners. Even if one gets hurt, they can play man-to-man. They can play cover 1 almost across the board. We saw the Dolphins that a little bit more last year, and it worked out pretty well for the most part on defense. So if I'm Denver, I'm keeping these guys on my roster. I'm not dumping Bryce Callahan. He's a good football player. If anything, I would trade him. I think you could get some value back if that's the route you chose to go if you were the Denver Broncos. So I'm saying keep him. Of course, you guys are going to get your votes in the comments section right now.